not reflect the views, opinions, or comments of the radio station or its management.
You are tuning into Sports Geek with Sponelo Ngobo, only on Nirvana World FM. Your beat, your music. It is the 16th of March 2024. Well, Easter weekend is fast approaching, and unfortunately, a heat wave seems to be still very much with us. But I must say it has subsided a little bit as compared to the how much the mercury has misbehaved during the course of the week. Today, it's not of the best, but it is getting better as compared to what we have gone through. So I'll still advise you to please stay indoors where possible. If you can't stay indoors, please try and use those sunscreens and sunblocks to mitigate the possible heat stroke, to mitigate the possible skin cancer. On Thursday night, Springboks star player lock, that is Eben Etzebeth. He walked away with the players with the accolade of being the player of the year in as far as South African rugby is concerned. There was a huge achievement indeed in as far as Eben Etzebeth is concerned. I must say that on Thursday, when Eben Etzebeth walked away with that accolade of being the second, he became the second player to do it back to back. It was only the second time we got to see the Springboks player winning the player of the year 2 times on the trot. Let's hear what the man himself, Eben Etzebeth, had to say after winning that accolade for the second time in the year running.
Always put the team first. I think the individual awards is not really there for the team. I think our big aim also was to win the World Cup, and I don't think any one of the 33 in that squad was aiming for individual awards or is a player of the year awards. And I think if you become single-minded like that, you probably won't get picked anymore. But I mean, it's a massive bonus and a massive honor to win this award. But you always give everything for the team first, because that's the guys that will help you. That's the guys who will lift you in the line out, who will latch on your back when you're in the carrying. That's the guys that must have respect for you. We always say, we want the respect of the guy after the game when you look them in the eye, and that's the respect you want. And yeah, that's you get the respect when you give everything for the team.
Oh, well, there was the man himself, the man of the moment. That is Eben Etzebeth after winning that Player of the Year award. That was on Thursday night. Congratulations are in order indeed for the big lock in as far as the Springboks are concerned. Congratulations are in order for Elizabeth. Still with Springboks this week, there is a big discussion in as far as the Springboks captains is concerned. Why? Simply because we remember that in as far as the Springboks culture is concerned, is that as a Springboks captain must always ply his trade within South African borders. Right now, the Springboks, they find themselves in some kind of a fix, of which is caused by Kolisi for having signed for a foreign club, that is Racing 92. Currently, Kolisi, who is the Springboks captain, is plying his trade beyond the South African borders, that is in France to be exact. So what does that mean? That simply means the Springboks head coach, that is Rassie Erasmus, has a decision to make. He has to decide that he going to break the Springboks culture, the Springboks norm of having the Springboks captain always playing within South African borders. We remember that till last year, as Kolisi was playing his trade in Durban, that's for the Durban franchise, that is Natal Sharks. John Smith was also playing for the Sharks. Jean de Villiers before that was playing for the Sharks. So Gary Touchman before that was also playing for the Durban side, which was coincidentally the Sharks. So always the Springboks captain always ply his trade within South Africa. We never had a situation where a Springboks captain is playing overseas, but right now we've got a situation
which is a bit complicated when I'm listening to you, and we spoke about also Eben Etzebeth. Judging from his achievements, I think he's also standing a chance of taking that armband, but then also it's the tricky part to see Kolisi as well, so we don't know how many years as he signed the contract at Racing 92. So yeah, it's a matter which is very complicated, especially Kolisi himself found himself in an awkward position as to whether I must just return back home or what.
No, I don't think Kolisi is in a dilemma. That's not his problem. When he signed the contract, he knew very well that that's going to be the discussion, that it is a norm that as the Springboks captain must always be in South Africa. So he looked at the figures, he looked at the money, he made up his mind that he's going to Racing 92. That is the Springboks coach's problem. That is the Springboks management problem to make that decision. Are they going to keep Kolisi as the captain, or will they have to opt for someone else? If they change Kolisi and opt for someone else, the big question is, who is going to be? Because right now, when you talk Springboks, automatically the first thing that comes to your mind is Kolisi. He's been the brand in as far as Springboks are concerned. Who else is popular, is equal or close to be popular in the Springboks camp as Kolisi? Because we all know that Kolisi now is a global brand. Wherever you go, you mentioned Kolisi, whether it's in America, Europe, Asia, wherever, Kolisi is a brand right now. Can Springboks afford to have someone and start branding someone to be the face of Springboks? The big question is, who's got what it takes to replace Kolisi in the Springboks camp?
That's a very interesting question, as you spoke, and the policy is disallowing him to progress further with the captaincy. So also, if we spoke about Manilipok as well, I think those are candidates for me. So but the coach must just take a decision as soon as possible, judging from the policy of the team. So it forces Kolisi to be dropped, but we'll have to wait and see.
But the big question, can the Springboks afford to drop Kolisi because of his popularity in as far as the Springboks brand is concerned? If he is replaced, who is going to be? Will it be, I believe, Eben Etzebeth? When it comes to popularity, I've just spoken about him on Thursday. He collected the accolade of being the player of the year. So surely, popularity-wise, performance-wise, Eben Etzebeth, for me, he is the second best candidate should they decide to remove Kolisi. But now the other thing with Eben Etzebeth is the age. I believe he's 32 or 33 years old. So you add 4 years into that when with the next World Cup scheduled to take place in 2027. Will Eben Etzebeth still at his prime? Will Eben Etzebeth still playing at his best? We also remember that Elizabeth has also passed the century appearance. So Eben Etzebeth has seen it all, has done it all. So for him, there's not much that Eben Etzebeth, the hunger, I don't think is there in as far as Eben Etzebeth is concerned, because he has achieved, he has seen it all. He's been to Europe. He has won Rugby World Cups back to back.
Back to back, yeah.
Does Eben Etzebeth have the appetite to lead the Springboks for the next 4 years and perform at his best. Because the moment he becomes the captain, he has to lead from the front. He has to play, try and play 80, be an 80 minutes player. Unfortunately, we know age is not on his side.
Let's hope the legs will carry him going forward because we need him currently. So with Kolisi, it's a very complicated matter. So I wish he can just come back home. Doesn't have a choice because the fans do like him so much, especially when we celebrated that their victory when they won the back-to-back World Cup. So we still need Kolisi, judging from the ages of Eben Etzebeth.
Oh, sure. The fans they'll definitely still love Kolisi to captain the Boks. The fans, the corporate world, they love Kolisi. He is the darling of the fans. But police. On the other side, police. On the other side, Kolisi, he also wanted the money. Racing 92.
The offer was just much better.
The
Yes.
offer. I mean, he just could not resist. They gave him a very lucrative contract. So it is a question of show me the money. If someone were to counter offer what Racing 92 is offering him, surely Kolisi will take the first flight back to South Africa. But ichopo.
Ish.
He has to put pap and milk on the table.
Indeed, yeah, because he's very passionate about the sport. As I also followed him, I heard the story how he started playing rugby as he was still growing up and how he struggled during his journey to be where he is today. So I think job. So he must just make sure that he comes back home. For me, that's the advice I give him if he wants to be the captain. And speaking of the team that we played before, the Sharks, so they're not doing well. Hopefully, if he can just decide to go back. Although also they must just offer a offer similar to the one that is currently ending at Race 92. They must just give him this similar offer. So hopefully he will come back home.
So it is definitely a big discussion. It is of keen interest. We'll be watching that space, like I said, with a keen interest that Rassie Erasmus has a decision to make. Does he keep Kolisi as the Springboks captain or does he drop him? If he does drop him, who will replace Kolisi? Of which the Springboks management, they'll have to start all over again and brand that person and make him the face of the Springboks, which is not going to be easy at all. Because right now, like we said, Kolisi, the moment you mention as Springboks, surely Kolisi comes to mind. The fans, like I said, he is the darling of the fans. So it's going to be a tough one indeed. Rassie Erasmus has a big decision to make. With the rugby, but this time around we talk sevens rugby. Blessburg head coach, there is a Sandy Lengobo this week. He has stepped down as the Blood Boxers head coach. That was because the results were not forthcoming. He lost at the locker room. The players, they lost their confidence in him. We all know how well the Blessburg had been doing in the past. But of late, the Blessburg, the results were not forthcoming. So he decided to do the right thing, stepped aside, and then he will be now concentrating on the development side. Philip Snyman, who was his deputy, has now been propelled to the head coach on the interim basis. Let's hope Happy Days will definitely come back in as far as the Blood Box is concerned.
It's so tough because I remember at some point I saw some of the last 3 matches that they played. They lost all. I was like, no, what's going on? Because this is a team which is very strong. At some point they won a tournament that was held at King Cape Town. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's lost the locker room, as you rightfully said. So yeah, they just needed to reshuffle as soon as possible.
So we'll be watching that space. That how does Philip Snyman do in as far as that Blessburg head coach job is concerned? Like I said, even though we know it is on an interim basis, maybe Philip Snyman, if he does pretty well, rugby sevens management, they might just give the job to him on a permanent basis. Wayikutwa taba. Injalo lento. La from Netso. Halala. And then moving elsewhere, we're talking, that is football, European Champions League. This week, we saw a history in the making in terms of, in as far as Arsenal are concerned. We saw them reaching the quarterfinals of the European Champions League. That was after 14 years. That was the last time Arsenal reached the European Champions League. They did this after beating Porto in the penalties. Thank you very much to their goalkeeper, heroic performance. That is Raya, who took Arsenal to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Like I said, after 14 years. Talking of Champions League quarterfinals, and then on Thursday, the draw was done in as far as the quarterfinals are concerned. We'll see the very same Arsenal. They will be taking on the German giants, Bundesliga giants. That is whom are led by the English captain in the form and shape of Harry Kane, the former Tottenham Hotspur's captain. They will take on Bayern Munich, that is Arsenal, and then the second quarterfinal we'll see Atletico Madrid taking on Dortmund, and then the 14 times winners, that is Real Madrid, they will take on the defending champions, that is Manchester City. That is the repeat of last season's semi-final, where Manchester City toyed around with the 14 times the champion, that is Real Madrid, in the semi-final. They throttled them, they toyed with them, they suffocated them in that semi-final. It was so painful to see what Manchester City did to Real Madrid last season in the semi-final. And then the last quarter-final, we'll see the French giants, that is PSG, whom will take on the Spanish champions, that is in the form and shape of Barcelona. Champions League quarter-finals.
I'm very impressed with Arsenal as well as Man City. Man City, remember, they thrashed everyone for them to win that particular title. So with Arsenal, yes, we've seen they're doing well, currently top of the English Premier League, the PL. So hopefully they will go all the way to the final, just like our defending champions. But I can't wait. It's going to be lovely matches on the week of the 18th as well as the 19th of April.
Oh yes, I must say this draw, it is so mouthwatering. You don't know which a game to look for.
All of them that
all
tricky.
of them, just to think of Arsenal and Bayern Munich.
What a game.
Manchester City and Real Madrid.
The repeat of last season.
So Barcelona versus PSG.
What a game.
I mean, really, you can ask for more. Atletico Madrid versus Dortmund. Another thing that we can notice in as far as this quarterfinals are concerned, we can see that Spain are boasting 3 teams in the quarterfinals. That says a lot about Spanish football, because they are represented by Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, and the Spanish champions, that is Barcelona. And still with the football, tomorrow the stage is set in as far as the FA Cup quarterfinals are concerned. Manchester United, they host Liverpool. My, Liverpool, they seem to have, they're going very, very tough. They're playing Manchester teams week in, week out. We saw back-to-back. We saw them last week. They had a date with Manchester City. And then this weekend, it is Manchester United. Oh, my word. One just has to feel it for Jurgen Klopp and his boys.
As they rightfully said, if you want to be champions, you must be the best. So far, they're in the right track. So I think their lock position will also determine their form. So they'll come and work hard, but it's not going to be easy. I guess the team of Manchester United were at least regaining confidence. So far, I mean, I've been impressed with them, but I still think they will definitely win it, just like I predicted the other day when they were going to play in the final against Chelsea.
Considering that Manchester United, they've been huffing and puffing this season, and they are playing against a very well-oiled Liverpool machine. Come tomorrow, what can we expect?
I think they'll definitely win Liverpool, because Jurgen Klopp, I think he'll want to win another trophy again before, as he rightfully stated, that at this wonderful season it is last. So they want to get one over Manchester United. It's going to be a good game to look forward to.
Carabao Cup is in the bag in as far as Liverpool is concerned.
Exactly.
FA Cup is there for the taking. Surely one does, like you have just said, that you expect Liverpool to walk away with victors come tomorrow. I mean, really, the way Manchester United rather, they've been playing this season. Not anyone expects Manchester United only. If Manchester United win tomorrow, it will be an upset.
It will be an upset, judging from their position on the log, sixth on the log.
And their form.
Their form is very inconsistent for me. So you look at Liverpool, they are very consistent despite having dropped points here and there. So I watched them against Man City last weekend. I realized, it was a tough game, and both of them, they almost scored late goals. So with that aggression that I've seen, they'll definitely give Manchester United a run for their money. So I'll go for Liverpool.
Liverpool it is. That's what our studio guest Mortem Peter has just called. He doesn't give Manchester United any chance to upset the mighty Reds. Come tomorrow, but don't forget that game is it's a Manchester United home game.
Old Trafford.
At Old Trafford.
Okay.
So the home game might work in their favor.
Hey, maybe, but so far I haven't been impressed with Manchester United. They are very inconsistent for me. That's how. But as you know, inconsistent teams sometimes are very unpredictable. So that's a concern that I've got. But judging from their Liverpool's form, I think the Jurgen Klopp will get this one over Man United at their very own backyard.
If there is something like overwhelming underdog, that's what Manchester United are. They are overwhelming underdogs in tomorrow's game in their own backyard. I never thought I would live to see the day where Manchester United will be their underdogs, especially in their own backyard. Formerly Theatre of Dreams. I said formerly because I'm not sure if it's still the Theatre of Dreams. That is Old Trafford. We grew up knowing Old Trafford as the Theatre of Dreams. Is it still the Theatre of Dreams? I don't know.
So is Andre Onana going to be in goals for Man United?
He's definitely going to be in goals.
So he must just...
Eric Ten Hag, he likes Onana. You might as well make peace with that.
Hey, by the way, judging from how I've seen him during the AFCON, it's really let his country down.
Okay, talking of Manchester United, listen to this. Manchester, maybe, this is what Manchester United need.
Just like the first debating days on by, we'll keep the red flags flying high. You're gonna see us go from far and wide. You're gonna hear them as they sing with pride. We're the boys in red and we're on our way to Wembley.
be rest assured. This song will definitely be doing the rounds. Come tomorrow afternoon at Old Trafford as Manchester United welcome their old foes in the form and shape of Liverpool, the mighty Reds.
It will be packed to capacity. So the fans, I know we've got Man United fans and Liverpool fans here at home. As their slogan is always say, "You will not walk alone." Can they walk alone? We'll have to wait and see.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of a storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver sound of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, for your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never
walk alone.
That's the slogan.
It is going to be the state of affairs come tomorrow at Old Trafford as Manchester United rather host Liverpool in that FA Cup quarter finals.
One thing common about those two is they're wearing a red t-shirt, so I don't know the red kit, in fact, who's going to wear red, who's going to wear, I suspect they'll wear the away kit.
Yeah, Liverpool will have to wear their alternative kit. They'll
Okay.
be the away visiting side.
All right.
Definitely Manchester United will never compromise their colours when they're playing at home.
At home, indeed.
Oh yes, very good morning and a warm welcome to you wherever you are within the South African borders and beyond. We've got you covered. Don't you worry about a thing. All you have to do is sit back, relax, and allow us to entertain you. You are tuning in to Sports Geek with Manalo Ngobo, only on Nirvana World. Your beat, your music. It is Saturday, the 16th of March, 2024. Wanaka. Oh yes, so we are together from now 11 o'clock till 1 p.m. Not that I'm complaining, I just love the sound of it. Hoping the feeling is mutual. That's how they roll in the township. I'm sure you've heard that I'm not flying solo this morning. I've got my studio guest, my partner in crime, in the form and shape of Motiba Beat. Motiba, a very good morning and an official welcome.
Hi, it's a very good morning to you, Sibona, and also to the listeners as well, and the team behind the scenes, Power on that side. So, yeah, thanks for having me on this wonderful Saturday morning. Looking forward to dissect everything that took place midweek and look ahead to this wonderful weekend. A lot is taking place. We've got a jam-packed show. Just sit down, relax. We've got you covered. This is Sports Geek.
Oh, it is the Sport Geek indeed. We've got you covered, as always. if you are to look at our menu this morning, we'll see that at the summit we'll be talking cricket, which will be followed by F1 motor racing, rugby. We've got it in store for you. Tennis, boxing, or should I say mixed martial art. We'll be talking Dricas, Duplessis, the DSTV Premiership. We've got all of that for you. We saw what happened last weekend at FNB Stadium in that Soweto derby. We'll be revisiting all that and more for you. And here, how did it go down in as far as the Soweto derby is concerned? And Mortem is in the house to dissect, to analyze and unpack all that for you. So all you have to do is sit back, relax. Like we said, we've got you covered.
Para llegar a la playa, va subiendo la corriente, con chinchorro y atarraya, la canoa de Bareque, para llegar a la playa, habla con la luna, habla con la playa, no tiene fortuna, todos los patarrayas, habla con la luna, habla con la playa, no tiene fortuna, todos los patarrayas.
Thank you very much to La Mesla. They give us the Charles Webster's Club Mix. So if you are an Amapiano fan and you're asking yourself, no man, come on, I know this song somewhere. I mean, you'll be forgiven for that. Why? Simply because Kabza the Small, we know that he did the cover version of this song. All he did, he took the instruments as they are. All he did was to hoy in some Zulu lyrics in it, just to check up your memory and justify and make you feel better about yourself in case you are starting to doubt your memory. I believe the lyrics of this song, of the Amapiano version that's done by Kabza the Small, I believe it goes by ubejava phezu kwetafula elapha Alexandra esho asafuna luna kisho maskarana asafuna something like that. I just cannot sing even if my life depended on it. So you'll have to excuse me for that because my singing icon, it is horrific to say the least. But my piano fanatics, you are forgiven in case you are wondering what's going on now. Am I playing the wrong song or whatever it is? This is the real song. Kabza the Small did the cover version of each. Remember that song? Kumula esho asafuna ukulala emalala kisho ashkarana, something like that.
Just hoy isizulu in.
So just hoy isizulu there, and you'll be just fine. Time now it is 12 minutes before 22 minutes before 12 o'clock. Now, without any further ado, let's get down to the business of the day. Cricket, it is happening in as far as T20 is concerned.
Cricket South Africa, this is the 20th edition, by the way, so it will be participated by 8 teams.
Yes.
The likes of Dolphins, who lost in the previous final against the Titans. So the tournament has kick-started on the 8th of March and it is progressing until the 28th of April. So the listeners must just expect more pile of fixtures of some of the matches that will be taking place. So let's see if some of the players will come to the picture, because I tried to look at some of the teams, especially players who are experienced, who were playing at the Proteas there. I looked into the Dolphins. I find the likes of Keshav Maharaj there as the captain of the club there, Andile Petlukwayo, Otnil Bartman. So I also checked the Lions as well. There's Riza Hendricks, Tembaba Vuma, Rasim van der Tussen, Sepo Moreki, Kwena Mapaka. I think
Kwena Mapaka. Under 19 Cricket World Cup.
Exactly, yes.
The bowler, off note. And remember
player,
that name, Kwena Mapaka.
Yeah, I think the future looks bright for me. Soon we will see him in the Proteas as well.
Oh, yes.
So from the Titans side, I see Lunginkiti, Eden Makram, Henrik Klassen, Lizard Williams, Neil Binder, as well as Tabrik Shamsa. So some of those players who are playing with those players, I think they must also raise their hands, because we are also approaching the World Cup. We'll talk about it shortly. So in some of the results that I do have here, we saw some of the matches that took place where yesterday, especially Northwest Dragons, who played against the KwaZulu-Natal Inland, where they posted the Northwest Dragons 207 for 4 there after 20 overs, and then KwaZulu-Natal Inland also posted 82 runs, so but they lost heavily there by 125 runs, as Northwest Dragons were winners on the day. So in the other match, the Boland hosted the Dolphins there at Boland Park there, where the Boland posted 125 for 8 after 20 overs, and then the Dolphins posted 129 for 1 after 14.3 overs. You can see that the Dolphins meant business, but they won that game by 9 wickets. And then the other match there, the Lions hosted the Titans there, where the Lions posted 183 for 5 after 20 overs, and then the Titans posted 182 for 6 after 20 overs. So which means that the Lions emerged victorious there by 1 run. So in terms of the log standings, the Titans, the defending champions by the way, are rooted top. All the teams have played 7 matches on 26 points. So followed by the runners-up of last season, the Dolphins there, so at number 2 on 20 points. So they're trailing the Titans on 6 points, and there's Poland at number 3 on 18 points, and then there's the Rocks there at number 4 on 15 points, the Lions at number 5 on 13 points, and then there's the Warriors at number 6 on 12 points, and also we do have the Northwest Dragons there at number 7 on 8 points, and lastly the Western Province on 6 points. So it looks interesting so far. Let's see with some of the matches that are taking place tomorrow, if I can quickly give the listeners the fixtures as well to look forward to. The match will kickstart at 2 o'clock. The Dolphins will host Northwest there at 2 o'clock there at Kingsmead in Durban there. Then there's the Warriors up against the Poland at Gqeberha there, St. George Park there, 2 o'clock as well kickoff. And then then also the Lions up against the Western Province as well at the Wanderers there 2 o'clock. So there's still more matches to come. On Wednesday we've got Titans up against the Dolphins, the repeat of last season's final. Yes, so it's gonna be a big interesting game at Supersport Park, 6 o'clock kickoff. And then also on Thursday the Warriors up against the Western Province, the Northwest up against the Poland. All those 2 matches kickstart at 2 o'clock. So when I come back next week, I'll bring some of the results and let's look ahead to this wonderful round robin, because 4 teams are supposed to qualify all the way to the semi-finals. So let's see if the Dolphins and the Titans will go again to the final.
We'll be watching the space with a keen interest. That how does that cricket South Africa T20 tournament proceeds? Still with the cricket T20 cricket rather. I heard you mentioning something about the T20 cricket World Cup.
Indeed, it's taking place on the 1st of June up until the 29th of June, and we've got different types of group. Currently, if I can alert the listeners that we are currently left with 76 days to go. So hopefully in June, South Africa, maybe they can just come up and say, we need to do well. By the way,
no comments.
I think your comment is based on the choking part. So that's what comes to my mind. So we'll have to wait and see, because the USA are the co-host of this wonderful World Cup that is coming. So that's why they're trying to organize as many tournaments as possible so that some of the players can gain experience, gain confidence, and some of the players who have not been called by the very same coach there, they must just raise their hands and let's see, is it Shukr Conrad, if they will be able to do well. So we've got in Group A India, the 2-time champions, Pakistan, Ireland, Canada, as well as the United States, the host there. So in Group B, we do have England, Australia, the big team there. So Namibia as well. The ruthless team, especially where it matters most, they always bring their A gear there. So Namibia representing Africa, by the way, the Scotland and also Oman. In Group C, we've got New Zealand, West Indies, Afghanistan, Uganda, as well as Papua New Guinea there. So in the last group, that's where our South Africans are there, with the likes of Sri Lanka, Netherlands, Bangladesh, as well as Nepal. And our first game will definitely be against Sri Lanka on the 3rd of June. So let's see if South Africa will do well, but we need to win something if not won this wonderful T20 World Cup.
Still with the T20 Cricket World Cup, considering that it will be hosted by USA and West Indies. And the West Indies, they are... Can I go ahead and say they are notorious? No, let's leave the notorious out. Let's say they are known for their slow pitches. What does that mean? The players who are comfortable with fast pitches, they will find it going very, very tough for them in West Indies. So hence, we have heard this week that India, they are pondering with the idea of dropping the King Kohli, that is Virat Kohli. They're thinking of not taking him to this T20 Cricket World Cup because they'll be playing most of their games out in West Indies, and the pitches in West Indies, they are very, very slow, so they will not be conducive to Virat Kohli. So the discussion now that is out in India is that Virat Kohli might just not be on that plane to, for India to that T20 Cricket World Cup. So don't be surprised if Virat Kohli is not in that team. It will be simply because of those technicalities that the pitches there in West Indies, they will definitely not be conducive for his style of play. Still with the T20 Cricket, don't forget that come next weekend, the Indian Premier League gets underway. It is back. It is going to be rough. It is going to be bumpy. It is going to be very, very entertaining. Ruthless, everything. It doesn't get any bigger and better than the Indian Premier League. So straight after the English Indian Premier League, that's when we'll be going straight to the T20 Cricket World Cup. So from next week, if you are a cricket fan, my advice to you is fasten your seatbelt because
rough is also going to be interesting. So, and speaking of West Indies, I heard you touch West Indies. If you can also alert the listeners about the cricket women. So they will be playing West Indies month end of this wonderful 29th of March, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, fasten your belt, as rightfully just said.
Fasten your seatbelt in as far as the T20 cricket is concerned. It's going to be fireworks from next week. IPL, surely you can't ask
preparations are in style, yeah.
And then as it if IPL, it never disappoints. Then we'll be going straight to the T20 Cricket World Cup. So you are definitely spoiled for choice. Now we're changing gears from cricket straight to the motor racing, starting with F1 Formula Formula One motor racing?
As it kick-started on the 29th of February, so at the Bahrain, the Grand Prix there, so our very own defending champions continue where he left off last season, Max Verstappen, doing it in style. And this time around, he's got his teammate Sergio Perez, who's following him. The two were on the podium in the previous Bahrain Grand Prix there, so, and he did exceptionally well, so also again there was a Saudi Arabian Grand Prix as well, so Max Verstappen once again was the winner.
It was last weekend, yeah.
Last weekend, by the way, yes, and also Sergio Perez again on the podium as well with his teammate there. So this time around, Charles Leclerc also was amongst them on the third spot there, because in the Bahrain Grand Prix, Carlos Sainz was amongst the two. So it's very, very interesting so far. So he's currently seated on 56 titles, which meant that he's broken Sebastian Vettel's record. So up to so far, he's trailing Michael Schumacher as well as Lewis Hamilton. So with Lewis Hamilton, he needs to pull up his socks, because when I checked the standings there, he arrived on the 8th spot, so it's not looking good so far. So, and this is the driver whom I think during the closure of this wonderful motor racing, he stated that it is last season he's going to be driving another car. So let's wait. Ferrari, by the way, yes, it's just jumping ships. So hopefully he can get his confidence back and make sure that he continues with that 103 record and up it up a bit there.
Oh yes, Max Verstappen.
Hey, Max Verstappen, he never stopped winning. He never stopped winning. So I think his intentions this current season, he just want to continue breaking those records.
And close the gap.
Amongst those two drivers, Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton, I've just stated.
In motor racing, we talk Max Verstappen show. And then in
the
motorsport, we talk the Banaya show.
Francisco Banaya. So again, he started so well. He had a good start. So it was so interesting when I watched the way he did his work there. So doing ever so well. So with this, also our very own South African Brett Binder as well. And also there's George Martin as well. So in that one, it was just a tight affair in that MotoGP that they had last week, by the way, as well. So let's see if they will be able to do well going forward, because I was so impressed judging from how they did well in that Qatar MotoGP. So it's they were separated by seconds. Francisco Banaya arrived with just completion of 3 seconds left, and then Brett Binder 2 seconds, and also George Martin on the last seconds. So very interesting for me. So I'm impressed. Let's see if we'll continue with the very same pace that he had last season.
Let's hope Binder will continue flying the South African flag sky high. It is definitely not gonna be easy at all. Banaya is not gonna make it easy for anyone.
Indeed, and currently, if I can just alert the listeners about the standings, he's seated on 31 points, Brett Binder on 29 points, George Martin on 28 points, and then there's also Mark Marquez there. I'll just read the top 5 there on 18 points, and lastly there's Elnia Bastianini there on 15 points. So yeah, it's just not gonna happen. I think Brett Binder there, our very own South African, and George Martin can close that gap. So far, they're trailing him by 2 points and 1 point respectively. 3 points, I should say, respectively. So it looks good so far.
It is definitely within reach. Come on, Bana, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. Close that gap. Let's quick go for a breather. When we return, we'll be talking rugby. Ebola Alombo.
Getting your business seen online can be tricky and confusing. At Silly Moose Designs, we offer a comprehensive list of services that can be personalized according to your budget and your marketing goals. From hosting to ranking on search engines, we've got you covered. Visit sillymoosedesigns.co.za to get started. We'll approach your website with passion, purpose, and power. Silly Moose Designs is a proud partner of Nirvana World FM.
But how I wish you'd be here with me all year around. Ramadan.
Very warm greetings. Point on behalf of Nirvana World FM and myself as your beloved ward councillor Imran Musa. I wish to take the opportunity to wish one and all a blessed Ramadan, a month of serious reflection, a month that many of us need to understand how the impoverished feel, how they feel when we fast. That is the way many of the people that do not have food feel continuously throughout the days. So this is a month that we should sacrifice, dedicate to understand with serious reflection on how many of those impoverished feel. Thank you so much.
Fills up the air. Ramadan, month of the Quran.
In a world where compassion is needed, Ashraful Aid lent a hand to the Palestinian refugees. A source of warmth in the chill of winter, we supported children and families in Jordan. An indication to humanity's resilience and the power of unity. Embrace the spirit of giving because every bit counts. Together we can make a difference. Donate today.
Taxes getting you in a twist? Satyam Accounting Integrity Indonesia can assist. With professional SaaS practitioners registered with the SA BAP, contact Nishal Parshid on 081 442 4340 or 084 798 7038. Untwist those taxes with Satyam Accounting Integrity in Lenasia.
KG featuring Nkosazana Doctor and Dalo featuring Nkosazana Doctor and Dalom Kids. Kineilwe Ngwanaka. We talk. What does that mean?
Which means you must hang in there, in another language, let's say yeah, that's what we talk.
And what language is that?
It's Setswana.
It's Setswana. We talk.
We talk.
Okay, there was Master KG and Nkosazana Daughter rather featuring Ulokoza Dalom Kids. They gave us that hit, which takes us back to a festive season. It was one of the songs that that did exceptional well in as far as the festive season is concerned. We're dancing to it. We had a jolly good time and dancing to that song. Without any further ado, let's jump down to rugby. What's happening in as far as Six Nations is concerned?
It's really happening, and games are going down to the wire here. So we saw last weekend there's Italy winning 31-29 against Scotland there, and England winning 23-22 marginally there against Ireland. And then on Sunday the Wales they lost 24-45 I should say against France. So it's really happening. So in terms of the standings, so if you see Ireland topping the log there on 16 points, all teams played 4 matches, and then they only lost 1 match alongside England, which are rooted second on the log there, having played 4 matches there, 12 points as well. Scotland at number 3 there, so with 11 points alongside France, and then there's Italy at number 5 on 7 points, and lastly the Wales. So it's really happening. So in terms of the fixtures to look forward to, so as you rightfully said off air, that the matches are coming to conclusion there. So
this week. Yeah, tonight actually.
In fact tonight, but there's a game in this afternoon at 4:15. Wales will host Italy, and then at 7:15 Ireland will play Scotland. I think Ireland will be looking for just a victory to be crowned champions, and then there's France up against England. It's a big one as well. So England as well will be saying if Ireland team drop points, so we stand a chance to win this title. So the battle currently is between Ireland and England as to who will definitely be crowned the champions of the Six Nations.
Once again this season. So it is interesting indeed. We remember that Ireland, they are the defending champions.
Indeed.
The big question is, will Ireland go on and make it back to back? They are the firm favourites going into tonight's game against Scotland. We remember that they are playing at home in Dublin. So surely it goes without saying that Ireland, they've been some kind of one of the best teams at the moment.
Indeed.
So playing at home against Scotland, so surely one will expect Ireland to come up trumps.
And mathematically, if you can check, Scotland are still in it as well. So they're seated on 11 points. So trailing Ireland by 5 points. So if they say, let them both two lose their matches and we win ours, so we'll definitely be crowned champions. So it's very interesting so far.
It is going to be interesting, and then the last game we'll see England. So England, it goes without saying that in the Ireland-Scotland game, they will be hoping that Scotland does them a favour, and then when England play their game later on, so it's not a dead rubber, and then still go on and beat France, France, and then maybe, just maybe, with the outside chance England, they might see themselves causing that upset and win this year's Six Nations.
Six Nations. So yeah, I think those matches will be looking them in the keen interest to see who will be crowned champions. So next week when they come back to listeners, we'll bring them the feedback and how it unfolded in that game.
Another talking point as far as the Six Nations is concerned, it's the Wales performance. I believe they've lost 4 games on the trot. So surely it goes without saying that come end of the season, especially if they lose tonight, they will definitely get the wooden spoon.
For me, they're playing for pride. We're looking into those games because there's a completion of the matches today. So I think also they might show their coach the door there. So because results are not coming, so it's not looking good from them.
It doesn't look good at all in as far as the mighty Dragons are concerned. That is Wales for you. But I must say that the most improved team this season, it's got in as far as the Six Nations is concerned, it's got to be Italy. We saw they drew with France in France, and they almost won that game in the death. They missed a penalty with only seconds to go. They eventually drew that game. If they converted that penalty, they could have done a smash and grab in as far as the Italy are concerned. Last weekend we saw them beating Scotland. So surely Italy, they are pressing all the right buttons at this season, considering that last season they are the ones that took the wooden spoon.
I think that draw has just make them drop points. Had they won that game, I think they could have gone at least maybe second spot. So, but then, they tried their utmost best, because I see they're seated on 7 points at number 5. So, which meant that had they won that particular match, that 3 points would have made at least 10 points difference. So, and then we're saying if England drop points or Scotland drop points, we are behind the Ireland, but it doesn't to be. But hopefully, let's see next season, they must just pull up their socks going forward.
Oh yes, Job, well done indeed as far as Italian rugby is concerned. They've done very well for themselves this season, but by the look of things, it looks like it might just be a two-horse race come tonight, Ireland and England. Who will it be? Will Ireland go on and dominate Six Nations? Will England come up and cause the upset? Talking of Ireland being the defending champions and standing a good chance of winning this year's Guinness Six Nations tournament once again. Let's hear their head coach, that is Andy Farrell, what he has to say in as far as the Six Nations is concerned. We seem to be not winning. I don't know what could be the problem. Let's give it a try one more time. I think I've just pick up what could be the problem. Let's give this audio clip one more try and see if I will get it right with that audio clip. It is the Ireland's head coach, that is Andy Farrell. By the way, who happens to be the dad of Andy Farrell, who plays for England. Whom they beat last weekend. Here is Ireland head coach Andy Farrell for you.
Six Nations are unbelievably difficult to come by. To win them, you tend to have a lot of ups and downs, and you look at the results today and what's happened throughout this competition, and that's why we love it so much, isn't it? The 100.
And then now changing gears straight to tennis because time is not on our side. Let's go straight and talk tennis. There is a BNP Paribas Open. Novak Djokovic was... What was that all about?
He bowed out so early against Luka there, so very surprising because they played 3 sets. He lost the 2 sets, so the Luka on the day was just fantastic for me when I watched him there. So it wasn't to be. So I do have also the results of the quarterfinal matches that played midweek there. Alexander Zverev there, he lost against Carlos Alcaraz there and by 6-1, 6-1 on 2 sets there. So Daniil Medvedev also hosted Holger Rune there, where he won 7-5, 6-4 also on 2 sets, and there's Jirili Heka there who played Yannick Sinner. Yannick Sinner also won on 2 sets, 6-3, 6-3. He's just impressed me this current season, Yannick Sinner. So Tommy Paul
he's
as well.
a dream season.
A dream season, an unbelievable season there. So Tommy Paul hosted Kaspar Ruud there as he won 6-2, 6-3, but he lost only 1 set, 1-6 there. So from the women's side, we've got Anastasia Potapova there who played against Marta Kostyk there, where Marta Kostyk won the 2 sets, 6-0 and 7-5, and then Iqua Swiatek there. So she played against Caroline Wozniacki, where she won there by 6-4, but the second set couldn't progress as the lady there, Caroline Wozniacki, retired there in that game. So there's Yu Yuan who played against Coco Gauff there, Coco Gauff winning that game 6-4, 6-3 on 2 sets there, and the last game there for the quarterfinals, Maria Sakkari there hosted Emma Navarre there, where Maria Sakkari won by 6-2, 6-4, but she lost the first set there 5-7. So up to so far, very interesting. So we also saw from the women's side the semi-finals of the matches that took place. Coco Gauff hosted Maria Sakkari, where unfortunately the game was abandoned due to rain, but Maria Sakkari was currently leading the first set. So let's see if she will be able to progress going forward. But Iqua Swiatek, she managed to do well against Marta Kostyk, winning both games sets by 6-2, 6-1. So she's going to the final. I think she'll be happy because Elena Rybakina, the defending champion, is not participating because of illness. So the defending champion is also out of this Novak Djokovic. So from the men's side, let's go back to the men's side. We've got the semi-finals that are taking place. Tommy Paul up against Daniil Medvedev, and also Yannick Sinner up against Carlos Alcaraz.
That's a cracker.
And the most interesting part is that, remember, during Australian Open, Yannick Sinner played against Daniil Medvedev. Are we able to see the very same final?
The repeat of the Australian Open.
We'll have to wait and see. I think the semi-final will give us the picture in terms of the outcomes of this wonderful match.
But Yannick Sinner still has Carlos Alcaraz to deal with.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, they also met during the the Australian Open.
Open, yes.
So he managed to emerge victorious, which meant he defeated Novak Djokovic and Alcaraz before.
Can you repeat that tonight?
It's a very interesting question for me. I'm very curious, so I'll be watching that game. It's gonna be, in fact, the match are taking place tomorrow.
Yes.
The final, yes.
Yes.
Oh, you meant the
semi-final.
semi-final.
Are tonight, 10:30, South
Half past
African 10.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
a
the
war here.
semi-finals, yeah.
So, Carlos Alcaraz will be saying, "Let me avenge as well." So I'm looking at the rankings because on big fish is bowed out way so early. So very interesting. And again, the very same. Speaking of Novak Djokovic, he's just withdrawn from playing in the Miami Open. So
Yes.
I'm not so sure if he's still having that. They call it a sore loser, or he's just disappointed of the fact that he didn't do well in that particular Indian Wells. Very interesting. So let's see if Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner, of which I'm looking at Yannick Sinner, I realize maybe he can go top of the rankings or second. So we'll have to wait because currently seated third.
So your dream final, whom would you like to see in the final?
I'd like to see the repeat of the Australian Open. Dali Medvedev up against Yannick Sinner.
We'll be watching at the space. Our sports analyst Mortem Peter will love to see the repeat of the Australian Open, where Medvedev will take on Yannick, the young and entertaining, exciting Yannick Sinner, the Italian who seems to be having a
season of his own. Very interesting.
He's having a dream season.
He just knows how to deal with Novak Djokovic. So I remember in the other tournament that played last year, the WTA, where he won during the round robin, but unfortunately Novak Djokovic defeated him in the final. So this time he's avenged the defeat, and then he went on to meet Daniil Medvedev. I remember we was trailing Medvedev by 2 sets, where he was down, but he managed to pull through and won that particular final. What a comeback it was. So let's see if we'll repeat the same story.
What a comeback that was. And now we're changing gears and diving straight to a netball. I believe things are happening in as far as the Spa Proteas are concerned. We remember that last year we saw the Australian-born Spa Proteas head coach Norma Plummer vacating her seat.
Indeed, and this time around, finally, as they had to delay for almost 3 months, they busy with the interviews of the appointment of the new coach. Finally, they got that particular coach. Her name being Jenny van Dijk, who hails from Pretoria, born 10th of December 1982. So she will be assisted by Zanele Mtotana. So I think they reshuffled all the technical team, because we used to see the likes of Jimisane Chauke, the likes of Matlamus Watlesem. So by this time around, she came with her own technical team, assistant coach, whom she was the very he's the captain of the Proteas, the Zanele Mtotana. So at least they know the background of the team.
The culture
as well. With the very same coach, she was the champion, the 5-time champion of the Jaguars from the Telpol Netball League, which usually takes place around June and July. So hopefully this time around, the Jaguars must just get a new coach. But Etis is coming with a massive experience of the achievement. What I'm interested in, I'd like to see to break that record against Australia, because during normal Plumber's presence, we struggle to beat Australia, her very own country.
The appointment of Jenny van Dijk, from your side, what is your take? Is it a good appointment or not so good appointment? What's your take? Are you in favor of it?
I think she's been a lot, even in varsity cups and everything. She's done well for herself there, although she didn't win some of the titles, but she's been in so many finals there. Judging from how she won the Telpol Netball League, which is the league that is recommended so well in South Africa. So I think it's a good appointment. All that she needs to do now, you select 30 players and see if those players will gel, because we still have Australian World Cup that is taking place in 2077, as she's been awarded a 4 years contract. So she needs to do well.
So in totality, you say it is a good appointment?
It is a good appointment for me. So yeah, we just need those fresh blood, and because Norma Plumber, if you can take you back to the World Cup that we played last year, so she finished 6th, and we were just questioning that how come, because we're expecting them to win this particular title
at home,
by the way, because in the previous World Cup they finished as runners up. Why can't you repeat the same story or go all the way to be crowned champions? It wasn't to be, and yeah, there was some bit of pressure as well. But for me, I think she did well. And then we still have to know also the new captain. Remember, Bengumsomi retired, and also the other player, the Zandi, is it Zandi? Pumzamaweni, yes. The goalkeeper, she also retired. So we need some changes as well. So let's see if those players that will be selected will put those. How can I put this one? Will close those voids that are left by the very two experienced players.
Let's hope the new Spar Proteas head coach Jenny van Wyk will definitely take the Spar Proteas a step forward and at least take them to the top 3, top 4 world rankings. We will definitely welcome that, especially the top 3 will be great. And like you rightfully mentioned, that it will be great to get a one up against Australia. They have been dominating us.
I'm very curious in that.
So I believe Jenny van Dijk's measurements or success will also be measured. How does she perform against the likes of your Australia, New Zealand? Come on, England, we can beat England.
Yes.
It's just that Australia and New Zealand that happen to be the tough cookies to crack.
Indeed, they are very tough, and you don't see them every time when you look at top 4 or the top 4 rankings. They are always there. So, but Australia, we just need to get something. I know we spoke even in cricket, in other sporting codes, Australia has always been there. So this time around, we tried our best in that tour, that way we lost the second. We beat them in the second tour, but where it matters most, they brought their aggression and they won. So we must just beat them. Make sure that we avenge those past results because our record is just bad. Yeah,
it is about time that we started dominating Australia. They've been doing it for far too long. It is time that things they change. Let's hope Jenny van Dijk might just be that change that we need. Let's quick go for a breather. When we return, we'll be talking football and more football.
24 hours a day.
I threw a wish in the well. Don't ask me, I'll never tell. I looked at you as it fell, and now you're in my way. I trade my soul for a wish, pennies and dimes for a kiss. I wasn't looking for this, but now you're in my way. Your stare was holding, ripped jeans, skin was showing. Hot night, wind was blowing. Where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. It's hard to look right at you, baby, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. And all the other boys try to chase me, but here's my number, so call me maybe. You took your time with the call, I took no time with the fall. You gave me nothing at all, but still you're in my way. I beg and borrow and steal at first sight, and it's real. I didn't know I would feel it, but it's in my way. Your stare was holding, ripped jeans, skin was showing. Hot night, wind was blowing. Where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. It's hard to look right at you, baby, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. And all the other boys try to chase me, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Before you came into my life, I missed you so bad, I missed you so bad, I missed you so, so bad. Before you came into my life, I missed you so bad, and you should know that I missed you so, bad. It's hard to look right at you, baby, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. And all the other boys try to chase me, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Before you came into my life, I missed you so bad, I missed you so bad, I missed you so, so bad. Before you came into my life, I missed you so bad, and you should know that, so call me maybe.
That was a Kale Ray Yapsin. Call me maybe if you do get a chance. Here's my number. Please do not just keep my number. try to put it into good use by calling me sometimes, just sometimes. Not all the time, not midnight, but if you get a chance, call me sometime. Because there are those people who just take your number and then they just don't do anything about it. They don't call you. Like
At all.
At all. Like it's those people on who comes into your DMs on Facebook and whatsoever.
Ish.
They come and greet you and then what? Okay, what? and then that's it.
That's it.
Ras Kalire Yepsin, call me sometime. Time now, it is 20 minutes after 12 o'clock. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to the second and the final hour of this show. Like they say, time flies if you are having fun. It looks like it is no exception in the studio this afternoon. Without any further ado, DSTV Premiership. Obvious, the top on of the list is the Soweto Derby.
Most definitely. So what a game it was. So I think people were just saying that Soweto Derby has lost its spark. But last weekend, we saw a different Soweto Derby where it was just a high tempo game, end-to-end stuff. It's like who wants it more. So as Orlando Pirates won that particular match by 3-2, so we're getting the bragging rights indeed. So if you look in terms of that game, Kaizer Chiefs took the lead through Ashley Dupree, and what a goal it was from a test of angles there with his weaker foot to beat Sipho Chaine. So Orlando Pirates equalized through Munapule Saleng with a wonderful grass cutter there, following that a defensive error by Zito Kunika and Sifiso Tlanti. So and Kaizer Chiefs again took the lead once more with a good passer from Mduzin Danzane, Spangiseni Mtetwa, not Pule Modi, I should say, to find Dupree, who also put the ball in the roof of the net, and then Kaizer Chiefs led 2-1 at halftime. I think the only problem that they were experiencing, Kaizer Chiefs, were the fact that where Frosler was operating, Orlando Pirates was overloading that particular site with Rebolo Mufukeng and Patrick Maswanganye, and you realize that those two players are ball players, hence they exposed Kaizer Chiefs, especially looking into the equalizer there, where there was a ball that was Orlando Pirates have just pinned Kaizer Chiefs in their 18 areas, where we saw Tawiso Libiso on debut to score a wonderful scotch of a goal.
Oh, it's quite a scotch.
Yes, a contender for goal of the month or goal of the season. So, and also again Kaizer Chiefs, so I think they lost concentration with regard to throw in. They switched off, and Orlando Pirates capitalized. Munapule Saleng once again and netting a wonderful goal as well. So from a good passer there of Patrick Maswanganye caliber, and in that game Patrick Maswanganye, he was named the man of the match. All in all, Orlando Pirates deserved to win because they were able to press Kaizer Chiefs very hard. With Kaizer Chiefs, they were playing so many long balls, I couldn't understand what was the intention there. Although they tried to bring in the likes of Ngosingi Pilion Ngobo, Wandile Duba, who scored a wonderful goal against Golden Arrows previously. They tried their best, but Orlando Pirates stood firm and they managed to win that game 3-2. So it's well done to Mapakani.
Kaizer Chiefs, they led 2 times. They failed to manage the game. So what does that say as far as Kaizer Chiefs' confidence is concerned, experience is concerned, that in a derby, how can you lead 2 times, go on and squander that lead, and worst part, end up losing the game?
Indeed, and if you can check, I'll blame the coach as well. So there's a principle that says if it's not broken, why fix it? You come from a midweek match where you kept a clean sheet against Golden Arrows with the likes of Njabulo Ngobo, and then you look at Sibongiseni Mtetwa, they were in that starting lineup, but when they came during the derby, they were not in the starting 11. So very, very questioning that. So also, I heard that the players had a meeting where Brandon Peterson, he was also trending so much on social media, where he had some 1 or 2 things with the coach. So Yusuf Mart as well, stating that how do you bench Njabulo Ngobo and Sibongiseni Mtetwa, who did well against Golden Arrows. So experienced players were not tape. So I felt at some point that the coach is losing the dressing room.
So if the senior players are questioning the head coach's decision, surely that coach has completely lost the locker room.
Indeed, so he need to pull up his socks. But if you can check Kevin Johnson's Bonello, you realize that even his journey at Amazulu, Supersport United, wasn't good. Hence he was also dismissed, not forgetting platinum stars as well. So yeah, I think he just needs to pull up his socks because fans are not happy up to so far, especially judging from the fact that this team lost against a minor team, or one may say a weaker team, Milford FC. So ever since that loss, they haven't been themselves like Kaizer Chiefs. Even the style of play is very questionable.
So you mentioned that Kaizer Chiefs, they lost to the Minos, that is Milford. So is it safe to say that Kaizer Chiefs at this stage, they've some kind of reached their rock bottom?
Yeah, one may say it because judging from their play, the play is just questionable. There's no structure, there's no identity. It's always long balls, crosses and corners where you know that they are very predictable in their style of play. They always rely on Ashley Dupree, whom, yes, in the past we've been complaining about him not being clinical in front of goals, but this time around he was just clinical on the day. So I thought maybe had they played a draw or won that match, he was definitely going to be the man of the match. But then the coach didn't make changes. He awaited Orlando Pirates to equalize. As soon as they equalized, they started making those changes where he even brought the likes of Mfundo Vilagazi. Why bring the player on 90 minutes during referees at a time? The team is losing. So yeah, he was all over for me. But also he hasn't found the first 11 for me when I watched him. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But I think Kaizer Chiefs at the end of the season, my simple advice is that they must just sign players, quality, and get a head coach who will definitely do well going forward.
But Kaizer Chiefs have been changing coaches like nobody's business. The results are not forthcoming.
I think
we're talking how many now? 10 years.
Yeah, we're talking 10 years of no trophy. So for me, because some of them it's been local coaches lately, and all of them they've failed, except for Stuart Baxter as well. He also failed, although previously he won titles with Kaizer Chiefs. So, but there's been some rumors that Arthur Zwane was the reason why him, Gavin Hunt, as well as Smith Ndorp left Kaizer Chiefs, because he was just sabotaging them behind the scenes there. So let's see if maybe the new coach will come with his own technical team. That's my advice. He must just come with his own technical team and make sure that they build a formidable team. So failure to do that, they'll find themselves going as far as 11 years without winning the trophy.
I hear you saying that Kaizer Chiefs, they have to consider bringing the new coach. But like I said previously, that they've been changing coaches like nobody's a business. The results remain the same. No trophies. Don't you think it's a question of the fish starting to rot at the top, at the head? Don't you think it is about time Kaizer Chiefs do things differently this time? Do not fire the coach. I'm not saying okay, do not fire the coach, but do something about the management. Your Poppy Mtaung, your whoever, your junior Jessica Mtaung. Don't you think that's where the problem is in as far as Kaizer Chiefs is concerned? Because they've been changing coaches forever.
They've been changing players as well. The players are not delivering.
They're not all the players, they come.
The free agents and everything. Nothing changes.
So don't you think Kaizer Chiefs, about time they do something differently? Look in the office, what's happening at the head of Kaizer Chiefs, in the boardroom, wherever in the offices. Something's got to give in as far as Kaizer Chiefs management is concerned.
Yeah. They just need to avoid this thing of saying the team is a family business. You don't take fans serious. The fans are trying hard. They rally behind the team. They buy the franchisee T-shirts and everything, quality. But then when they come to the field of play, no results. So they just need to take fans serious. That's all I can say. But then, yes, the management part, the owner himself, Kaizer Mtaung Senior, he must just also step in as well and make drastic changes. This thing of family business or whatsoever is not doing justice for the team and the fans as well.
Just for the record, can you put it on paper that on the record that Orlando Pirates this season they've got a double over Kaizer Chiefs? They took 6 points.
Indeed, after 15 years, by the way. So the last did that in 2008. So it's well done to Jose Rivera, as they call him, the Spanish guitar. So it's done extremely well, and you can see whenever they play, lately I've seen a different Orlando Pirates, which has got structure. They build from the back, they come in the middle, they go up. Hence, we saw them holding Mamelodi Sundowns a draw because both of them they are well structured team. So, but I've been impressed with these three players I've stated: Munapule Saling, Relebole Mufukeng, as well as Patrick Masangani. At the back, you spoke about him, Botlela. When he came in, he stabilized things with the likes of Chapelo Koki and Oli Santa. So, yeah, so far so good for Orlando Pirates. So, as we know, they're always too strong, especially in the second round. Every season when I watch them, so far they are unbeaten. So, hopefully, even we're still going to talk about them shortly with the Nedbank Cup, they'll do well.
Still with the Orlando Pirates, I mean, if we look in their locker room, the level of commitment, their positive approach, surely one has to say something when it comes to commitment. Just talking of commitment, the first player that comes to my mind is their goalkeeper, Sipo China, who played the derby last week, knowing very well that his mother has already passed away.
Yes.
I believe his mother passed away Friday, but Sipo China still went on and played for Orlando Pirates with his mother having passed away. Surely that says a lot about the level of commitment, about the level of sacrificing for the badge of Orlando Pirates in as far as the Orlando Pirates camp is concerned, as compared to Kaizer Chiefs. The less said about Kaizer Chiefs, the better. But surely Orlando Pirates, the level of commitment, the teamwork and everything is of a top notch.
I'll give it to Coach Jose Rivero. Remember, he's always patient. That's one thing I've seen with is always patient with the players. Remember, fans were howling at Evidence Mahopa, and he continued playing him, and he's been scoring goals here, and the 5 goals currently. Yes, is coming from Pirates, Swallows, I should say, to Pirates is back, and he was just a point of reference for them last weekend against Kaizer Chiefs. He did excellently as well. So you can see Pochaine as well. Yes, even today he's not going to play against the Hungry Lions in the Nedbank Cup. We'll talk about them shortly. So he was not a good goalkeeper. Whenever they brought him at Chippa United, he was also a bench warmer. But this time around, he's a regular at Orlando Pirates. So far so good. So I'll give credit to the coach himself. The only thing that I'll advise him is that he must start challenging for that league title, because Pirates has not won the league in a very long time now. I think it's 11 years or 12 years.
Come on, Motiva, be realistic. Challenging the league title.
Yeah, because
there's Mamelodi Sundowns in South Africa.
But then, they must just try hard, because Mamelodi Sundowns, yes, you know they're winners. But Kaizer Chiefs tried their best when they were coached by Ernst Middendorf. Just that on the day, they fumbled where it matters most on the last game of the day against Baroka. So Pirates can do that as well. They've got players for me. So the coach currently is getting combinations right. It's all about him challenging the league. Yes, there is Mamelodi Sundowns, I do agree. But they must just not make that particular league Syria easy, because it's been an obvious thing. Mamelodi Sundowns, they currently have stretched so much gap with 12 to 13 points. Mamelodi Sundowns. So we are tired of Mamelodi Sundowns dominating. So there should be 2 or 3 teams, especially the Soweto teams, give them pressure there at the top.
Yes, our sports analyst says Orlando Pirates that it's about time they try and challenge Mamelodi Sundowns, and the challenge for the DStv Premiership win. It is not going to be easy indeed to win that DStv Premiership, while Mamelodi Sundowns are still dominating South African football the way that they are still dominating. Talking about still with the Mamelodi Sundowns dominating South African football, this week the former Mamelodi Sundowns goalkeeper, that is Roger Adisa, also came out this week. He said this dominance of Mamelodi Sundowns, it's not healthy anymore. It takes the interest.
It's just irritating. It's just irritating. I think I do agree with him. It's very irritating that in the past, we know that the league is won on the last day. So with Mamelodi Sundowns currently, they'll just win the league with 4 or 5 matches to go. So what's that? So teams must just come to the party. Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, they must make sure that they pull up their socks going into next season.
Still with Mamelodi Sundowns, we had even Tebogo Mokoena this week saying, you know what, guys, we just want to quickly wrap up this DStv Premiership thing and get it out of the way.
Indeed.
That shows how easy it is for Sundowns. But Tebogo Mokoena said, he said, guys, let's quickly wrap up this DStv Premiership thing. So for them, it's just walk in the park.
I think they're also focusing on CAF Champions League, by the way. So as speaking of CAF Champions League, I'll just give the listeners quickly the fixtures there. They've drawn a team called Young Africans of Tanzania. So with the other fixtures, Simba will play Al Ahly. I remember the Simba that one plays Kaizer Chiefs there, in case they lost on aggregate there. TP Mazembe will play Petro de Luanda, and then Esperance Tunisia will play ASEC Mimosa. So those are the quarterfinals that will be playing towards the middle of April. There's going to be interesting for me. So speaking of Sundowns as well, they played also midweek against SuperSport United.
Tshwane Derby.
The Tshwane Derby, what a game it was. So yes. I saw Tebogo Mokoena, the very same player you spoke about, scoring a scotch of a goal. Another contender, a long range shot. So click pen, one commentator can call it that way. So no chance for Washington Arubi there. But then SuperSport didn't put their heads down, because majority of teams, when I watch them, whenever Sundowns scores first, they put their head down. It's like they are throwing the towel, because some of them, they are afraid of Mamelodi Sundowns. Hence, you see majority of them playing defensive, starting the game on a low block. But yes, SuperSport did that as well. So, but at some point they were under pressure defending deep, but they tried to play on transition, and it worked for them, because we saw a free kick that was whipped in by Laila K to find the very same by Bradley Grobler, who tapped it in to grab his 8th goal of the season. So no chance for Ronnie Williams and no clean sheet there. But then, it was so good. And then he introduced the young players, Gavin Hunt, who did well for him. There's a player called Matlangu. But even also the referee, Alampas, the referee, Colas Taylor, he was having a bad game on the day. So, but all in all, it was a good game of football to watch.
A good game of football to watch, indeed. If you happen to be a Kaizer Chiefs faithful or fan, and if you were to block your ears or switch off, whatever it is, or walk away and don't listen to us from for what we are going to discuss now, we will forgive you for that. We will understand. Why? Simply because we'll be talking a Nedbank Cup, of which Kaizer Chiefs, they were dumped out of the Nedbank Cup by the 7 months old team. That is a Milford from KwaZulu-Natal. So that is that was an embarrassment indeed. So if you're a Kaizer Chiefs fan, you decided to walk away and don't want to listen to what we're going to discuss now, we'll forgive you. We understand. We feel you. We know exactly what you, Makosi faithfuls, are going through.
Yeah.
So we won't be hard on you. So you can look away for now. Let's talk Nedbank Kappa. Yeah, cheers. It started midweek.
Midweek, and we saw University of Pretoria. They hosted Morocco Solos. If you can remember very well, you go back to 2009, the repeat of the final, where I remember they were coached by that former Orlando Pirates coach from Brazil. Just I forgot the name, but I remember there. So this time around, Julio Lili, yes.
Julio, yeah. He also coached
Amazulu as well. True, very true.
Orlando Pirates as well.
Orlando Pirates as well, yes, yeah. So then Solos lost that game 2-1. So when I watched that game, they were very dominant in terms of the ball position. There's a player called Motlamonyane Tebogo there who scored a wonderful goal there. And then also, you remember Tawani Sibanyoni, who was on from Supersport, and Mamelodi Sundowns scored a wonderful winner from the volley after Solos equalized from Banjwa there. So a good game of football that we watched midweek there at the Tax Stadium. So they deserve to win there. So they will be saying it's a sweet revenge. They defeated us in the final previously. But Mosanyatama, I think there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. As we spoke about it, that Solos, ever since they lost those players, they haven't done well for me. Yes, they tried their best. They held Kaizer Chiefs. I remember I was at the venue, they were watching.
Who cannot hold Kaizer Chiefs?
So, but Kaizer Chiefs were just not in the game for me, so they could have won that game as Solos. But then, hopefully, this can do them justice, because they are also, their position on the log is not pleasing Solos. So they need to do better going forward. And then we also saw Skukuni United, Babina Nokwadi Batlabe. They hosted Usushanwa Beshankone in Nyorel Shazana, where they scored 2 goals. They won 2-0 Amazulu. I think those were the gifted goals when I watched that game.
Soft.
And the referee as well. I'll lambast the referee once again. How do you allow a handball from Junior Dion straight into a goal? And then also the goalkeeper there, the former Marispeki, Ronaldo
the
Lina.
goalkeeper,
I think it's like a team out them. That's a howler there. So whenever you are under pressure, just clear the ball.
To safety,
to safety the team, so that the team can regroup. But then he didn't do that. Didn't he? Victor Swallow just take manna from heaven, a special crab, and put the ball in an empty net. That's how they won the match. They're Pablo Martin. I think it will boost their confidence, because they've not been doing well. If you check in the last 4 matches, they lost. I remember 3-1 against Cape Town Spurs, 3-0 against Sundowns. They also drawn last week against Supersport United, 1-1 there. So it will boost their confidence going forward. So in the other game that we saw last night, the Milford FC. The very same team that knocked Kaizer Chiefs out. They were thrashed heavily. When they said it, half dozen of X, the 6-1 scoreline, where Devin Tatas scored. There was this Ansett Ora who came from the bench after Antonio van Beek was injured. They're scoring a brace as well. There's Marvin Boji also who came in as a sub. They also scored a brace, and Andre Dion. This is a player I remember when Stellenbosch were playing Orlando Pirates, he scored and created a goal there. So when I listened to Steve Barker, the aim was to make sure that they forced them to make mistakes at the back, and they did just that. I was also disappointed with the goalkeeper. He wasn't diving for me when I watched some of the soft goals.
Milford goalkeeper.
Milford goalkeeper is Kleza there.
Yes.
Is this Spamandla? Yeah.
Yes, Spamandla.
Kleza. So I was so disappointed with his positioning, but his also defense let him down as well. So it's back to the drawing board for Coach Klanti Puma there. Things were not according to plan on the day. So Stellenbosch coming all the way from Cape Town to come and grab the victory there at Princess Makoko. It was so good. So you can see that this team is capable of playing. They can go all the way to the final.
Oh yes, Stellenbosch. They definitely made a statement in that game against the Milford. You know what? You guys are very gevaarlijk. You guys are very dangerous. Which is taking you for granted is not an option. So they went on there with a mission that, you know what, we're coming here to make a statement.
Indeed. So
and putting 6 past Milford, surely that was a statement.
That was a real statement. But I've seen 1 or 2 players who impressed me. The Chile player who scored the only goal of the match for Stellenbosch, and also the young player, the Siabonga Nzama. So they impressed me. The future looks bright there. So, but then they were just jamboked yesterday.
Stellenbosch putting a 6 against Milford FC, while Kaizer Chiefs could not put past them even one, even with a penalty in an extra time.
My goodness.
They just couldn't convert it. So surely Kaizer Chiefs Eish.
And they created chances in that game. I don't know why couldn't they become clinical. Why some of the players, experienced players, took those penalties. You can't take Ranga Chivaviro, who was coming from the bench, to come and take penalty. He hasn't been. The adrenaline is still low. So with those players, Yusuf Mart, Ashley Dupree, as they always take his achieve penalties on the day, they I don't know if they refused or we just said not me just go and take that penalty, Chivaviro. So ever since he missed that penalty, he hasn't been himself as well.
Oh yes, surely you cannot blame him for that. Surely it is an embarrassment to miss a penalty against the lower tier team, and your team go on and be damned out of that knockout. So surely Kaizer Chiefs confidence. It goes without saying that their confidence is sitting rock bottom. Still with the Nedbank Cup, what's happening at the fixture this weekend?
There are matches taking place today as well as tomorrow. Chipa United will host the FC Ravens there at the Buffalo Stadium there, 3 o'clock kickoff there. And then there's also Richards Bay up against Supersport. I'm interested in this game. If you can remember very well, Vusimuzi Vilagazi, when he was appointed as the coach of the very same Richards Bay after they sacked Kaitano Tembu, he defeated Supersport United 3-1. Although Supersport United won the first match 2-0 in the first game of the season, where I remember Ikotaro and Zugamanja were the goal scorers. So maybe it will be saying, they will be saying, if you can just let go of this Nedbank Cup and focus on the league, because where they are seated on the lock, it's not looking good for me. They can be relegated anytime. So for me, I'll advise them to let go of it and then put Supersport. But if you check Supersport as well, they've got a good run in the as far as the Nedbank Cup is concerned. When they were still coached by Stuart Baxter and the very same Gavin Hunt, they were at some point they were in the finals. I remember they defeated Paris twice. So they will be saying, if you can just win this one and go further with the Confederations Cup, because a team that wins Nedbank Cup, they are allowed to go and play within the Nedbank the CAF Confederations Cup. So I think it will boost them for me. I'll give it to Supersport for me, because Ricardo Kos is coming back. Although Arubi played in that game against Sundowns, Otiosa Ikotaro, the striker there, he couldn't play because of those contract agreements with them and Supersport United. He will be available. So I think Gavin Hunt for me is opt for choice. Judging from how I saw him, he was just disciplined whenever he tried to approach the game against Mamelodi Sundowns on transition, and then make sure that he play a bit of a low block, which it worked for him because the defenders were just so good. Ime Okon, Juliani Tlatwayo, as well as Kampani Lungu as well. So with the other match taking place 6 o'clock, Orlando Pirates at Orlando Stadium, they'll be playing Hungry Lions. Let's see, because Hungry Lions currently, they are rooted 6 as far as the Municipal Foundation is concerned. And Orlando Pirates will be saying, no, we defeated the Crystal Lake of Mpumalanga 6-0. We can do it again. Let's wait and see.
It is going to be a tough one, an interesting one indeed, as far as Orlando Pirates are concerned against a Hungry Lion this afternoon at Orlando Stadium. Kweska Maminzela is good. Now we're changing gears from local football to international arena. Bafana Bafana, as the head coach Hugo Bruce announced his 23-man squad for the Algeria tour.
Indeed, and we saw Bruce Vorma. This time he was called ahead of Velimota. As you know, Velimota wasn't playing at Amazulu. He just came back from playing last week against Amazulu, as well as in the Nedbank Cup, where he was the man of the match in that game where Amazulu defeated Sekhukhune United 2-0 there. So with Ronan Williams as well as Ricardo Kos, those are our goalkeepers, and at the back we've got Nico Mobi, Grant Kekana, Terence Mashego. Those two are from Mamelodi Sundowns, Gosnati Sibisi of Orlando Pirates, Opri Mutiba of Mamelodi Sundowns, Tapelo Morena of Mamelodi Sundowns as well, Tapelo Tloki of Orlando Pirates, as well as Siabonga Ngezana, another surprising there. So let's see, because he's been doing well abroad. Indeed, and he's doing well that side. So very impressive so far. So in the middle of the pack, we've got Teboho Mokoena, Spepelos Tole, Goodman Musela of Chipa United, as well as Grand Maharman. And then we also have up front, there's Temba Zwane, Patrick Maswanganyo of Orlando Pirates. As I've spoke about his
man
form,
of the moment.
Man of the moment. And he, by the way, he was just winning the back-to-back man of the matches against Kaizer Chiefs, even in the first round.
He's got their number.
He's got their number indeed. So there's also Mlondi Mbanjwa there of Amazulu, as well as Elias Mokwana of Sekhukhune United. Also in Apollos, once again, he's still back, and Mihlali Mayambela. So far, it's a good squad for me. Let's not forget there's Kanye Samayo, as well as Ikram Renas. The very same players I was lambasting why the coach wasn't calling them. This time he's called them. I don't know if it's pressure or it is their form, because they are the two are passing when I watched him. Ikram Reyners, I was impressed last night. He assisted four goals and he was the man of the match in that game. Kanye Samayo, he's been trying so far, so good, but although his team wasn't doing well, as they lost 1-0 to Stellenbosch and also 2-0 against Royal AM, so it's not looking good, but hopefully they will recover. So let's see if they will do well. His team there is Captaincy against Kaizer Chiefs on the 30th of March after the international break. But I'm happy after so far how Hugo Bruce selected these wonderful players.
Looking at that 23-man squad, there is a noticeable absentee in the foremanship of Percy Tau. What do you read from that?
I think maybe he's trying to give other players a chance because, by the way, those are the friendlies. Maybe when the real matches are coming by, the AFCON qualifier against the World Cup qualifier, by the way, against Nigeria,
in June, yes.
Definitely in June, he will come back. That's how I'm seeing what he's trying to do, Hugo Bruce. So far, yeah, I'm impressed. He's a good coach. So at some point, people were just against him, saying, why cohesive players are not there? But you can see Bruce Vuma, those clean sheets, 6 clean sheets, and also having came in after the erratic Brandon Peterson doing well for himself, making sure that as he's been a bench warmer, he's trying to avoid that by impressing the coach all the time. So this is an opportunity for him to use. Hopefully, who knows, maybe they might introduce him in one of these 2 matches.
Don't you think that Hugo Bruce is one of those coaches who definitely, who keeps his ears on the ground, who hears what the fans are saying? Why do I say that? Because just going back to Tembazwan at some stage, he was not a part of Bafana Bafana, but then there was big noise in the country. The fans wanted Tembazwan. Eventually, Hugo Bruce brought Tembazwan to the side. And then fast forward to the recent AFCON,
yes.
The fans were complaining about Percy Tau's form of late. And then in the last game against the DRC in that bronze match, Percy Tau was benched. He didn't play because the fans were furious against Percy Tau's form. Kanye Samayo and Ikram Reyners, the fans have been crying again for Kanye Samayo and Ikram Reyners tripping the team. They are in the team. So looking at that, don't you think Hugo Bruce, he's one of those coaches who've got their ears on the ground, who he's not as arrogant as he is deemed to be.
I think it's pressure. The fans are putting him under pressure, but you are overlooking those players. They've been raising up their hands, and it's been
Especially
Mayo and Reyners. But you keep bringing in Evidence Mahopa. This time around, I think the institution didn't force him because Evidence Mahopa is injured.
Yes.
And then you look at Zakele Lepasa, he's off form. Ever since that season where Orlando Pirates, in fact, not season, that match where they lost against Johann Galaxy of Botswana in the CAF Champions League, Lepasa hasn't been himself until today. So those players deserve a chance as well.
Still with the international football, we saw this week Banyana head coach, that is Desiree Ellis, as well, announcing her preliminary scout in anticipation of the big clash against Nigeria, which is going to be a crack of a game.
Indeed, so it is a preliminary squad. If you can just break it into pieces there. The goalkeepers, we've got Andile Dlamini, Kaylen Swart, Katlaho Moletsane, and Dino Makakula. Question is, will it be Andile Dlamini or Kaylen Swart? As you know, Kaylen Swart has been playing so many matches, and we spoke about it before that it seems as if ever since that strike of that particular World Cup, he's been out of favor. So I don't know if it's because of how he conducted himself during that particular strike. So we'll have to see. I'm thinking it's that because at some point we had the news that Danny Jordan is influencing Jessica Alice not to play the lady. So I don't know why, because
Andile
Dlamini, yes,
goals,
because he's done well for herself. So at the back we've got Karabo Dlamini, Fikile Makama, Asanda Hadebe, Disetso Makubela, there's Witumelo Rasetlo, Nonatemba Mhlongo, Bambanani Mbane, Nokomatlou. I think he's brought in experience as well. So Lewa Marabalepe as well as Bongaka Gamete. So in the middle of the park we've got Linda Mutlalo, Refilwe Jane, Leso Hongkwani, Sibulele Holweni, Nontlantla Mthandi, Samkeli Sueselana, Amogelang Motau, Nomvuyo Khwale, as well as Notlolo Tsesane. Up front we've got Gabriela Salgado, Nicole Michael, Jamin Seposengwe, Notlolo Tsesane, Hilda Makaya, Tembi Khatlana, as well as Ntabise Majia. This is a world-class player, so I think they've got that experience from the World Cup. With the likes of Tembi Khatlana available, is it what Jamin Seposengwe as well? I think we can see goals. So as you know, this is the only coach that break the hoodoo against Nigeria. So we'll do well by the looks of things.
Hey, we'll be watching the space. Nigeria.
So I'm still saying who's going to be in goals, because those teams are playing those aerial balls where I realize that Kaylen Swart is a bit erratic when it comes to dealing with aerial play. And we look at Andile Dlamini, it's not that bad compared to Kaylen Swart. But I foresee Kaylen Swart going to start because he's out of favor
late,
for me. of late is out of favor. So very interesting for me. But it's a good squad, well experienced, and it's also will await the final 23 players because this is a preliminary squad that has been called so far.
It is going to be an interesting one, and don't forget that Banyana Banyana preliminary squad, it is in anticipation of the Titanic clash where Banyana Banyana will lock horns against Nigeria in that Olympics slot. So it's going to be a tough one indeed. How I wish that Banyana Banyana and Nigeria were both going to qualify for Olympics, but unfortunately that is not the case. One must die. Now, coming back home, Motsibe Foundation Championship, what's happening in as far as the second, the tire is a concern of South African football.
I've got the results of the matches that took place last week, Saturday, as well as Friday as well. University of Pretoria, they won 2-1 against Hungry Lions. And then on Saturday, we saw Upington City playing 1-0 draw against Marumo Gallants. Marumo Gallants, they really are struggling there. So Platinum City were thrashed 4-0 by Pretoria Callis. Orbit College played goalless draw against Maritzburg United. I think they've dropped points there. At some point, they're top of the log, Orbit College. Then the GDR Stars winning 1-0 against Milford FC. Milford FC as well, they're struggling. I remember previously they lost 3-1 against Hungry Lions. Kasrik Stars played 2-2 draw against La Masia. And then also Black Leopards lost 1-0 against Makesi. Makesi is doing well there in a Limpopo derby. Another Limpopo derby there. So Vanda Football Academy winning 1-0 against Baroka FC. So Jens Mansala is also blowing hot and cold. In terms of the log standings, Makesi are top of the log. They're coached by Clinton Lassen, if you can remember him so well. The former Celtic. Manning Rangers as well, you can say that as well.
Also played for Pirates as well.
Pirates as well, Polokwane City as well. Yeah. So there's University of Pretoria, second spot, they are trailing Makesi FC by 1 point. As Makesi is seated on 39 points and they're seated on 38 points. All the teams have played 21 matches. So I think they're trying to push this league as soon as possible. Orbit College at number 3, they've dropped, as I've stated to you, that they were top of the league log at some point on 37 points, but they're trailing Makesi FC on 2 points. Upington City on 32 points, Baroka FC on 31 points, alongside Langri Lions at number 6, which are playing Orlando Pirates, by the way. The Kasrik Stars at number 7, alongside Black Leopards. Black Leopards, for me, they looked an improved side, because at some point, you remember, they used to be 15, 16 on the log. I think the buying status of a certain team helped them so much, so they need to make sure that they work hard as soon as possible. At number 9, we've got JDR Stars on 28 points. There's Maritzburg at number 10 on 26, alongside Pretoria Callis at number 11. There's La Masia at number 12 there on 24 points. Venda Football Academy at number 13 on 22 points. Milford FC, the one that defeated Kaizer Chiefs, at number 14 on 20 points. And Marumo Gallants, as I spoke about them struggling, at number 15 on 20 points as well. And lastly, Platinum City Rovers at number 16 on 19 points. So it's not looking good. So some of the teams that are playing within the backup, we spoke about Milford FC, and then let's see other teams today as well as tomorrow. Maritzburg United, they're going to play Mamelodi Sundowns tomorrow, and there's also the General, which will play TS Galaxy, but they are also in from the ABC Motsepe, those ones. So it's going to be an interesting weekend to look forward to. So if I can just go touch base on the DSTV Premiership news, Stellenbosch announced that they've parted with midfielder Daryl Macheke.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and then also Skuku United, they've just announced that Edwin Chima will leave the club at the end of the season, and I've seen that lately he hasn't been playing. It's only Daniel Cardoso and that other DRC, is it Trezor Chibuapa Yamba,
yes,
is also playing there at the back. Then Kaizer Chiefs, they've just confirmed that Jason Gonzalez, the striker, will be leaving the club at the end of the season.
I'm sure you've always been calling that.
I've not been, I haven't been happy. Even last week against Pirates, I watched him, I'm like, no, the player can't have a first touch. The first touch is just horrible. Where the Kaizer Chiefs were trailing under pressure, looking for that equalizing goal. Instead of him going in, he left the ball at the back, and then as if he was clearing the ball. So I was like, what type of a striker is this player? He's so lazy, very static. So they need to make sure that they beef up that squad going into next season. Kaizer Chiefs. Then SuperSport United, they've just announced that they've extended the contract of Bradley Grobler on a 2-year deal. I think it's working for them. As I've stated that he's seated on 8 goals. He's amongst the top goal scorers. Lucas Ribeiro Costa of Mamelodi Sundowns topping that with 10 goals. And then also, lastly, Golden Arrows, they've just announced last week the signing of Steve Kompela. Yes, and he just played his first match, and guess what? He won by 1-0. Ndusosbia scoring. I was considering the fact that why Mabuti Kanyeza is benching the player, whereas he's been a playmaker in the middle of the park.
And the senior player.
So on the other side, I'm like, hey, I'm a player asile. So why currently Mabuti Kanyeza loses all 11 games? Steve Kompela comes comes into the picture and you won the game. Abanye Batayo he knows English, he knows how to deal with those players. So very interesting. If I can go back again there and bring some of the results of the matches that took place during the derby there, there's a SuperSport that played 1-1 draw against Amazulu, Stellenbosch 1-1 draw against Cape Town Spurs, and Smilendorp I think is trying to improve there, so trying to close that gap amongst him and
move away from relegation.
Royal AM and Moroka Solos as well. Richards Bay playing goalless draw against TS Galaxy. It is much better because they've been losing matches there. They've been conceding goals as well. Mamelodi Sundowns winning 2-0 against Chippa United there. So Wetebo Mukwena as well scored again a wonderful goal. Grass Carter there. Tashirik Matthews, who was signed during the transfer window, he also scored. And then on Sunday, Royal AM defeated Cape Town City 2-0, where Sedwin George and Sabelos Tole was the man of the match in that game at Herikwala. So, and also Golden Arrows, as I've spoken about, winning 1-0 against Polokwane City. So in terms of the log standing, Sundowns are still top of the log with 46 points, having played 18 matches. Orlando Pirates second, 11 points, and same number of games, 20 matches played with SuperSport United. And then the Stellenbosch at number 4 there on 32 points. Cape Town City at number 5 there on 31 points. Skokun United at number 6 on 30 points. They've been doing well. They thrashed Solos 4-1 by the way. So yeah, I think it's some of the number needs to pull up his socks, because failure to do that, they found themselves going for the playoffs or automatic relegation. The Kaizer Chiefs at number 7 because of that loss, and then lastly Golden Arrows at number 8. At least they were at number 10, but with that victory, as Steve Kompela stepped in, they managed to bounce back to the top 8. Royal AM at number 10 there, followed TS Galaxy at number 9 on both on 25 points, and Amazulu at number 11 on 24 points with Polokwane City at number 12, and then there's Chippa United at number 13 on 23 points, Moroka Solos at number 14 on 21 points. You can see the gap is not that much, and then Richards Bay at number 15 on 14 points, and lastly Cape Town City at number 16 on 12 points. Hence I've said to you that Richards Bay can just let go of the Nedbank Cup and focus on them fighting for survival, because up to so far things are not looking good.
But I must say it is a trick or interesting to say that Golden Arrows, after they've gone through such a bad patch, losing 11 games on the trot, but they're still within the top 8 bracket.
I think
how possible is that?
It's possible because if you can check at the start of the season, they were winning matches before Mabuti Kanyeza took over.
And Vosi was still part of the team.
Yes, some of saying he was just Musi Villegas was just his shadow. As he was doing well, but as soon as he left, and then he started calling teams ordinary opponents, Kaizer Chiefs ordinary team. And since then, after beating Kaizer Chiefs, uttering such comments, he started losing all the games on the trot. So yeah, so far so good. I think Steve Kompela's experience will definitely save them. At least this time, at least it's positive that they are back to within the top 8. Let's see after the international break how the games will unfold, because if I can just give the listeners what to expect in 2 weeks' time there on fortnight, Cape Town City will host Kaizer Chiefs, Stellenbosch will host Royal AM, Polokwane City will host Chippa United, TS Galaxy will host Amazulu, and then Skokun United, which is on form, will host Orlando Pirates. I can't wait. It's a big matches to look forward to there. On the 31st, there's Cape Town Spurs against Moroka Solos, battle for relegation and survival here. And then lastly, Golden Arrows, they'll play Richards Bay in a KZN derby. Vusimuzi Villagers under pressure as well.
My next discussion was going to be about Cape Town Spurs and their head coach, that is the Ernest Middendorp. But since this year started, 2024, Cape Town Spurs and Middendorp, they seem to be doing something right. On paper, their game is supposed to be a tough one or easy one for Kaizer Chiefs. I believe Captain Spurs, they are playing Kaizer Chiefs. It's supposed to, on paper, it's supposed to be an easy game for Kaizer Chiefs, but it's not going to be, especially considering Captain Spurs' form of late. That of late, I believe in the last 3 games, they haven't lost a game.
In fact, it's four matches, and
matches.
They've scored in all of those 4 matches. They won 3-1 against Amazulu. They also scored 2 goals against TS Galaxy, if I can remember very well, when they won 2-0. They drew also last week against Stellenbosch. So they are so far so good.
Spurs are doing something right this season.
They're doing something right. I think that international break has helped Middendorp.
Because I believe they beat Amazulu at some stage. They drew with Orlando Pirates,
yes,
whom they beat in the first leg.
Yes, they've got 4 points against Orlando Pirates. They only lost in that Nedbank Cup against Amadax, University of Pretoria. So where I realized Middendorp was just saying, let's just let go of the Nedbank Cup and focus on the team survival. So far so good, and they've signed good players for me, experienced ones.
So looking at the Captain Spurs, they seem to be finding their rhythm of late with Middendorp.
Indeed.
So that automatically means that the pressure will go straight to Natal Natal Rich Boys. That is your Natal, your Richards Bay FC.
I also give the credit of management of the Cape Town Spurs some credit, because at some point when they lost 2-0 against Cape Town Spurs, the fans were boycotting and Smith-Dorp that the coach must go. They were just chanting, so good must go. I was watching that game clearly. So the pressure definitely is going to Rich Boys, Richards Bay. So they just can't combine well. I don't know what's going on there. They need to pull up their socks as soon as possible, because this is not the time to drop points, but the time to get vital points.
Okay, so absolutely, it is interesting at times, indeed, in as far as South African DSTV Premiership is concerned, especially at the bottom. Go tough, go rough. Is it going to be Cape Town Spurs, Richards Bay FC, Morocco Swallows? It's very, very tough indeed at the bottom. We will be watching the space that who will eventually be relegated to go straight to Motsepe Foundation, or who is going to get a second bite on the cherry by going to the the playoffs. So we'll be watching the space with a keen interest indeed. Unfortunately, our biggest enemy time is definitely not on our side once again. I believe it is that time of the show where I have to laugh and leave you. But before I do that, I believe my partner in crime will also like to sign off and tell you exactly how much he had fun in the studio.
Yeah, it was just interesting being here. We spoke sport, we dissected everything, we unpacked everything that took place midweek, this wonderful weekend. Expectations going to play. It's a lot of sporting codes. As fans, you are spoiled for choice. So we're looking forward to those fantastic matches with different sporting codes. So it was good to be here. Time, as when it's just stated, that it's cruel when you are having a good time. Next weekend, we are live here. We'll do it in style. Just don't turn out those TV set. Keep watching Nirvana FM, World FM, your beat, your music. We'll bring them as they unfold. So I am Mutiva Johannes Peter. It's a very good afternoon.
A very good afternoon indeed. Like I said, it is the time of the show. We have to laugh and leave you. But as always, I always give the promise that come next weekend, same time, same place, we'll do this once again. Till then, I am Spanel Ngobo, and it is bye-bye.
A lovely afternoon.
A goeie middag, jullie allemaal.
Found a love for me. Darling, just dive right in and follow my lead.